Okay, so we need to take a second there because we are swapping to North America for these matches. For those who don't know, Jig, as we mentioned before, French-Canadian, and Hush being Korean, it makes a little more sense for them to play over here. But the finals will be probably going back to Europe as Mana will be the defender over there.
Right.
They have hosted the lobby in anticipation.
Maybe I could have made it on America, though. America likes me more.
Made it in America.
Can't sing that song anymore. Hi, I'm here.
Alright, so just waiting on Hush to join us now. Vox Dens is law. I just saw the photos on Twitter. Hilarious and creepy too. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all that
I
really
need
can
to
be said about
photoshopped
that.
more
You what?
into things. I said I need to be photoshopped more into things. That you know, pregnancy picture is amazing. No, I thought it was amazing.
So actually, while we're waiting a second on Hush, guys, I'm going to play another commercial, but this is like an in-stream ad for the upcoming event. Speaking of which, CK Walsh, 17 months is ain't no party like an Ace-Cape party because an Ace-Cape party does not stop. See you guys next weekend. Dude, I'm so stoked. I'm so excited. We're like, it's actually like, it's so hard to visualize. We're like 5 days away for the Ting Offline Finals. It's going to be awesome because this is like, this could have just been an online event, but the fact that we could make all of our sponsors, not make, but like have all of our sponsors come together to work together to make something offline and do something for the fans, that's the dream. But anyways, here's some things about that coming up. So, advertisement.
Get ready for the Season 3 finals of the Ting Open, live at Corsair headquarters in Fremont, California next weekend.
Come watch the semifinals on Saturday and the grand finals on Sunday. Entry is free, so you don't have an excuse to miss it. Join us in person or watch live on twitch.tv/BaseTradeTV.
So yeah, we got an Eventbrite link up and everything. If you guys are in Fremont or if you're planning to come, make sure you reserve your spot on the Eventbrite. Just everyone should be aware too, when you get there, you are going to have to sign some papers to get in. It won't just be simply like walk in. The papers are though things like, hey, I'm at the Corsair headquarters and I agree not to fucking steal things, right? Like really simple to get in, but it's going to be a pretty awesome place. And again, the area is super nice. And I'm not talking about like, oh, the like, location of the headquarters. The actual area which we'll be hanging out and playing and watching the games, it's really awesome. And I'm excited to go and do stuff there. Someone in the chat, though, is asking, Ken Skoggs is, correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't subscribing remove ads? It does on some channels, but to break it down for you, Zombie and I make our living off of these ads. And this isn't like a woe is me thing, but for example, the longest time, we didn't even touch subscriber money. We needed subscriber money to make events and keep funding things. Nowadays, of course, we're a little bit more blessed to have folks like Corsair and Twitch support us and help us make these tournaments happen so we don't have to pay out of pocket. That being said, it's still safe to say a majority of our income comes from commercials. So while we do have the option to turn off ads for subscribers, excuse me, as I smell my nose, we just can't afford to do it. So if you use Twitch Prime, you don't even have to use your Twitch Prime sub on us, by the way, but if you just have Twitch Prime or Twitch Turbo, that will disable ads for you, and you won't have to worry about it. And the best part is, it also counts as you having seen ads, so that we still get money for it, which is nice. What was that smile? That was like the fakest smile I've ever seen.
It's not fake. Fake is like...
So I hate that you pointed this out to me, by the way. A while ago, Zombie pointed out about smiles. Girls don't show like their bottom teeth while smiling or something, right? Or most people in general don't, because you look crazy doing this.
I remember.
And ever since then, I've noticed like the people that in my life I actually deem as like a little bit crazy, when they smile, they do show. And even in movies, like when you're watching like, who's that chick from Ghostbusters smile when she's trying to act crazy? She shows both of her like top and bottom teeth, right? Yeah, it's like the Joker smiling.
It is really weird. Like, no, I feel like most people don't do that naturally. They had to be like trained to smile, and they're like, "This is right."
Well, I feel so. The problem is like ever since this too, it's been super self-conscious because when I smile, it's like it's either this, or it's the one row of teeth only. And it looks really weird. Like I look like fucking Wallace and Gromit. Like Jeez, Gromit, jeez.
It's also like really weird. I think the other thing that can be weird if you like really want to just pay attention to people too much is when people show too much of their top gum when they smile. Like, I don't think I can do it, but there's some people that'll show like a large portion of their gum.
Like an oral fixation going on, man.
No, hey, man, okay. I studied faces for college. That was literally my degree.
I studied faces so people would never know that I had like mild autism and like I'd be on point to fitting in society.
No. I also studied naked bodies. Hey.
So do I on the other computer. Not on the casting
computer. Yeah. To be clear.
It's actually the Partoof bot. If anything goes down first, it's going to be the Partoof bot because it'll be infected by the viruses I get from the porn sites I look at.
Everyone feels so weird about the Partoofs now.
No, real talk though. If you guys are like going somewhere fishy for your stuff, like stick with the sites that are respectable, like Spank Bang. Hello, you got YouTube.
I mean, like
stuff on it
Pornhub,
too.
like was like literally seeding the earth. So
Pornhub was giving away a free premium subscription for Valentine's Day. That was the best marketing move I've ever seen.
I'm just saying, it's a good thing Pornhub is getting into esports because I would praise them.
Anyways, we are getting into game. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the semifinals. I hate that we see Costco still in the top right of the screen on the donation ticker. But in the upper left, he is the French-Canadian Zerg player, the Orange Jig.
In the top right,
Did your mic just die, or is that me?
how can I tell?
I think that was your mic. Game sounds still sound normal. You went from like 90 to 10.
Huh.
Try swapping your mic to the Corsair mic for a second, and let's see if it's the connection. If it's the connection, I'll just call you back. Easy peasy. Technical problems are so fun.
Okay, is he using that now?
Yeah, it's your other mic for sure.
Well,
this
yeah,
sounds-
okay, so the problem is I don't know how to fix it. Like, I can't turn the gain up, I know that much, because
No,
it'll start
like
distorting
try
it.
unplugging and plugging all the connections because it just sounds like there's something loose. Like you went from in the middle of sentence, went from sounding perfectly fine. There's like a click, and then you're just like bleh. Anyways, while she fiddles with her mic, guys, Hush did get a pretty quick scout. And Hush, of course, one of the Dust Gaming. It's kind of interesting, actually. He's a Korean player from Korea on the NA team Dust Gaming. So, playing on North America, a little bit more appropriate, I suppose. Latency-wise, but also just, like, story of their teams.
Is this working now?
Yes, you sound excellent. In fact, you may even sound better than you did before.
Okay. I don't know how to take that.
So, I guess just plugging and unplugging it work? Is that what you did?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah, that's what it did. I don't know. I guess it might have just literally died. I wondered if, like, the fact that I was so punctual with the popping made it freak out, but I don't think it did.
I'm glad you yelled that in case it was breaking.
Well, I would like to know if that was the cause.
Well, I just love it's the classic IT response. Like if you try turning it off and on again, like if you tried plugging and unplugging it and it works. So hey, there you go. Yeah, it works. It's fixed. She's back. And as we continue on with the game, I was gonna speak for Hush though. Of the two Dust Gaming players that were picked up in Korea, Bunny has actually seen some pretty nice success and some pretty good results. Hush, however, has kind of not. And I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but he just really has not been as impressive as his teammates. So my curiosity is that because he's not as good player, or just that Bunny is that much better of a player and all these other players we keep seeing in the brackets in Korea? Like in context, can he walk over somebody like Jig but never be able to beat somebody like Biol?
We would be able to tell, for sure. Bunny he might have the greater success so far, but it might have just been like a coincidental of easy brackets of actually casting him, but not Hush before he gets taken out. Because I do know that there was even, maybe it was when I was solo casting, I don't remember, but there was even a tournament where there was like Bunny on one side, Hush on the other, and they barely missed out on like the Dust team kill, or maybe they did, I don't even remember. Memory's not so good. But the point is, I think like Bunny, even though he's really good, obviously had faults as we saw in the VSL. Hush is also really, really good, and we just haven't seen enough of him to say exactly what his fault is. So Jake's gonna start pressuring him, and trying to find a fault, I guess. Double Overlord drop.
I like these drop styles actually quite a bit. It was a long time ago when Nurture would do these all the time, but they did kind of fall off, and I think like some of the Stargate play deals with it really effectively. But yeah, Size Unload tries to get us around on the Adept. Kind of annoying though because you can't do much more, and with a Void Ray on the way, this also means that those Overlords will get fried up real good. So his time here is limited.
Yeah, so far not too worth. Especially if the Overlords died.
Why are people blaming me for your mic falling apart in chat?
Who?
I don't know, I just see people saying like, damn it, Rifkin.
Oh, because you said fiddles. I don't know why that's that ace lewd. I see someone blaming Apollo, which seems like a lot more in line with what could have happened.
Yeah, choosing your chords. Silly little rascal.
Yeah. Unfortunately, cats, like, you know, they teach each other things. So Apollo wasn't taught by any of our cats to chew on chords, but you know who we will teach? And the other cats we get. I'm looking forward to that.
It's like a virus. It's just gonna keep spreading.
Oh, it's gonna be fun. Anyway, so the double overload drop aside, it was more committed than the single overload drop that just seems more like even a scout sometimes, but less committed than, like, you know, obviously the Queen Ling drop. It didn't work, and that's fine. He does have a decent macro game behind it. Kosh didn't immediately counterattack, but he does have a depth with Resident Glaze finishing up, and he should be poking soon. And Jake isn't quite ready with his Baneling, so we'll just need a lot of Lings.
Well, Jake actually took the income lead once he finally went back home, started making those drones. So he should have money for many units to defend this, and he's actually floating about 1,000 in the bank right now. If he dies, he's certainly going to regret not having planted down a bunch of spine crawlers or something, that's for sure. But that's where this extra hatchery comes into play. The Adepts transfer, though, into a full surround. Not without losing 6 drones on the third base, though, as everything had been drawn to these Adepts. A bit of a distraction kind of works out.
Yeah, I do wonder if that would be worth the distraction, because I kind of saw the plan as they're moving in. It's questionable, I guess. 8 drones, a handful of Lings, but a lot of Adepts still survive, so I think it was worth.
Well, on Hush's behalf, too, if those Adepts had like 1 extra second and actually gotten between the 2 hatcheries, those Adepts would not have been killed so easily, and this could have actually been a lot of problems.
For sure. So I said, like, Hush even saved a couple of the Adepts, so he's not going to be, like, you know, risky of being counterattacked, and honestly, his SimCity probably good enough anyways, because he did finally put a Mothership Core. But now we have Ling Hydra Baneling on the way. And that's, of course, people have been experimenting with more as the Hydra got a upgrade recently, a buff recently. Yeah,
for those who don't know, it has an additional 10 health, so it can take a whole extra hit from the Adepts.
Yep. And weather a Storm a bit better, which is what Hush is going to be going for. Charge Lot Archon, eventually Storm. All about waiting for that timing.
Well, we'll see if the Hydras are matched well or not. I think the problem is, like, I've still been watching some other Zerg. Like, we hosted Norgut the other day after we were done with stream, and he was actually playing Hydras as we hosted him. Watching Solar and some others, like, try and use them here and there. They look good, but they still run into this problem where they're not exactly, like, a hard counter to anything. Like, you're not exactly going to... Like, if you're going to kill a Protoss player with Hydras, usually it's because your macro's better. You just got a lot more of every unit, not just because you've got 5 extra Hydras. At least from the games we've seen. Again, the change is still fairly new, so interactions are still questionable. But things like many Adepts, charge lots, as well as Storm, I think Hush is getting all the necessary tools to deal with Hydralisks.
Yeah, exactly. It's really just going to come down to, well, first of all, timing. If Jig was going to push in without Baneling speed, he would catch Hush without Storm, and maybe even like a little bit sooner without charge and +1, but it's not going to happen. And it looks like Jake's just going to wait for Center of Hooks and a Lurker Den, but I really don't think that Lurkers or like, how to phrase it? You get a Hydras, and they're buffed, and they're good now, and you can get this really sick timing that might even be, like, you know, enough to kill the Protoss, and that's fantastic, exactly what you want. But to just give up and not do that attack, and you go straight to Lurkers, there's no reason for the Protoss not to make Immortals, as Nurchill will, you know, be miffed about on Twitter. But there's, like, no reason, so you're still, no matter, like, and especially by not pressuring at all, you're gonna get lurkers, but they're already gonna have 8 immortals, charge lots, and storm, which is still, I would say, a counter to your composition as long as like the engagement goes right.
Yeah.
So I just am not sure about this.
I honestly believe if you'd gone with the attack right now, like before these extra immortals spawned, he could have done some serious damage. Granted, there's gonna be a lot of force fields and storms guarding shields, but that's where we start talking about those overwhelming numbers. A lot of Hush's army is on the other side of the map right now, waiting to do this weird run by.
Yeah, I agree. Like this is like much better position for attacking as opposed to waiting for the lurkers.
I'm also just not convinced on lurkers right now. Anyways, like okay, if the Protoss player is silly enough to not have detection, lurkers are amazing. But most of the time, there's Revelation or an Oracle or something, and the lurkers just get like 3 or 4 shot by the immortals, and it looks so stupid.
I agree. I just have not seen a convincing lurker game in a long time, and the way that lurkers look convincing. Why?
Because we banned Guru from tournaments.
Kind of. I haven't seen a laser in a while either. But anyways.
Oh yeah. What happened to a laser?
I don't know. But so the way that you were going to use lurkers well anyways in the past against the confident Protoss who eventually learned how to deal with lurkers was to get them, I think, like basically faster. Like it's all about timing here. Like not letting them get to 8 immortals in a direct engagement either. You know, you have a couple of run bys and you have the concave and you have, you know, whatever else going on. But yeah, once the Revelation comes down, which should hit almost, like, I think all the lurkers, once he sees where they are. I guess he has to send the Observer in first. Oh, no, he sees them. Okay, got it. This is one lurker. That kind of sucks. But hopefully the Observer lives, and there's no Overseer, so it should.
This is an interesting choice to go with the counterattack. It's really dangerous to leave his army without any sort of cannon fodder, but Hush's Warp Prism should see this. That's a lot of Banelings, too.
Okay, I think he did just use a warp in somewhere else, so maybe he's going to be waiting a little while longer to warp in anything. Because like, right now it's just about warping in stuff that's going to body block. Okay, so just going to pull the probes. There's the warp in. Alright, seems a little bit late. +3 is started faster for Hush, but not so much that I'm sure he's going to get an upgrade advantage off of that. Jig might have gone to lurkers and not done anything else, but he's also going to high without doing anything else. So this is kind of like a game about accelerating to the late game. And that could be fine if your opponent wasn't matching you. But Hush is matching him and then some. Like, he already has a Sweep Beacon and Double Stargate, upgrades on the way, Dark Shrine for harassment. And unfortunately, I think if the Protoss beats you to the air game against Zerg, I think the Zerg's actually in a lot of trouble. This is cool, though. 8 Overlord drops. You know, especially if he manages to kill the Stargates. That'd be very nice.
Well, he's got to go soon. Right now, he is going to be dealing with a counterattack. Charge lots are good against Hydras. Again, that charge damage helps nullify some of the bonus health they got. But Lurker should be the kingmaker in this one scenario. Yeah, these Lings, I don't know. There's cannons, they're waiting.
Okay.
It's the rest of the army's a little bit behind. I don't know about this.
Okay, there you go. It's on hold position. There it goes now, but that was a little bit too late. Alright, so it's going to be a bit of a distraction, but it's not the 8 Overlords full of, like, Hydras that can actually kill these Stargates. And I think it's probably even, like, a depressing sight here to see double Stargates already being pumped out.
If he kills that pylon, too, it shuts down the carriers entirely. But, oh, these Overlords are flying directly into cannons. And that Void Ray score is still waiting. He's not unloading at all.
Oh, no. Oh, God, no.
Oh, my. Okay, so Lings are not, like, the biggest thing to lose, but, my God. Like, that was so much for free.
Yeah, it was.
Those would have been better off just on the front line soaking storms than what they just did.
Oh, Jig, I don't know about pushing. Well, I'm guessing he feels a necessity to push in to stop, like, to halt the air swap here. But the unfortunate news is that they've both already accrued a bank. So even if they start trading army, they're still going to be getting to Broodlords and getting to carriers.
Corruptors are better versus carriers now, as we've learned, too.
That is true. That is another unit that's been buffed. Faster on all accounts.
Hey, thank you, Tom _ for the 20-month resub, by the way. The game just slowly progresses forward. I've got a quick question for you in chat, though, Zombie Grub.
In chat? Do I have to respond in chat?
No, you and chat.
Oh, okay.
Peanut butter. Smooth or crunchy?
I like smooth. Is that the wrong answer?
Yes.
I don't know. I feel like I've seen a couple of people, maybe you were arguing with someone on Twitter or maybe it's something else entirely, but say that Chunky is better. And I have desire for Crunchy, like I have cravings for Crunchy.
Ooh, that was
but
nice
I don't
snipe.
usually buy it. Yeah, it's nice. So trying to pull Hush's army apart is the best thing that Jig could do, because again, if they get an upright fight with Storm, it doesn't matter if the Corruptors are better. If they dodge the Storm a little bit quicker, that's fantastic, but it's still going to be massive storms versus Jig not being able to do very much.
Speaking of not being able to do much, he loses the base here. Detection is only through this Overseer right now. As he does have Spine Crawlers coming down, there's still no Spore for detection, so more DTs could get back in and do more damage later. As the air army does build up, it's worth noting that it's not these carriers that are so scary. It's gonna be the crazy amount of void rays that accompany them. Like, consider all things here for Jig. Hydras are great, but he's gonna have like, what is it, 17 plus 13, so he's gonna have like 30 something Corruptors here, right? And on top of that, some of those can become Broodlords. But at the end of the day, a Void Ray and an Archon and a Storm all together at the same time are gonna just melt those Corruptors.
It's 4 units. Can't do anything wrong. Well, these units are doing something wrong. Looks like Phoenix is supposed to actually scout, not just chase a Corruptor.
Yeah, I gotta say though, I do love these Corruptor run-bys. I think this is kind of a cool way to snipe Nexus.
It is, yeah, and they're slightly a bit better at it because they can get away faster. But I don't know if it's going to be quite worth if he loses more than like 3 Corruptors at a time, which, you know, would, when you look at the mineral cost, would be fine for the Zerg, but I'm just thinking like eventually this is going to come down to a really big fight and every Corruptor is probably going to count. But oh dear lord, not like
no.
this.
Oh
Not like
no.
this. I don't know what convinced him that he could go back again. He should have left immediately.
So if you remember,
But
he was
that
at 30
good.
Corruptors a little while ago, down to 15.
That was not good, and that's what's going to happen, unfortunately. So, I mean, I'm kind of painting a grim picture for the Zerg overall, I suppose, but I want to kind of be clearer and say that Jig is missing a couple of his own important functions of playing late game Zerg versus Protoss. Like, there are no fungals, and now that they're burrowed, there's a higher chance that they actually get a fungal as opposed to being feedbacked. The Vipers would also be feedbacked, and this I still give Protoss late game the edge here, but the point is, like, if you can abduct something, if you can fungal the carriers when they're all together, then, or neural parasite even, some Zergs have experimented with that, it would look better than just trying to force the issue with Corruptors and Hydras. But, yeah, again, like, either way, I think the Protoss army is kind of, it's pretty good.
Man, the amount of Team Smooth, by the way, that's finally caught up, disappoints me.
If you want crunchy, just eat peanuts.
You know what? If I quit StarCraft 2, guys, like that day that's eventually gonna come, it's not gonna be because I've rage quit or I've like lost my cool or like.
Crunchy is just lacy peanut butter.
Crunchy's just lazy. I've never heard that before because it's
so
totally
good.
wrong.
I was very, I think you can say I was kind of ambivalent. Like I prefer smooth, but I really care. I'm not in this, right? I did not realize that there would be the opposite passion too.
So
you're passionate about it, but smooth is passion.
So to be clear, again, if I ever quit StarCraft, it's not going to be because we lost sponsors or I got mad at some kid on Reddit. It's going to be entirely because someone triggered me with a pineapple smooth peanut butter pizza or something,
Oh
you know?
man, that sounds fantastic.
No!
Yo, we should make, no, I should make that pizza. I'm the one that says I want to eat it. I should make that and eat it on stream. Who wants
Ugh.
a cooking stream?
I don't think you'd be allowed to stream that though. Because you're not
Maybe
allowed
not
to
safe for
stream,
work.
you can't, no, you're not allowed to stream yourself hurting yourself on stream.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do it, guys. I mean, I don't know about a cooking stream because
Peanut butter, banana, pineapple pizza.
I'm doing it, man. I'm gonna figure out a way to make it work.
Although I will say, regardless of type of peanut butter banana sandwiches are some of my favorite.
That is true. Those are delicious. Little tiniest little bit of honey.
Okay, so the void rays melt the hydras.
That laughter is.
Hydras are just kind of like, oh, we're not meant to be the counter to air apparently.
That's kind of what it is. Like, okay, the cannon's already powered, which is very important. Otherwise, ETTs and cannons combined
Yeah.
would have wrecked
You know,
The lurkers.
I will
What are you
say, Jig is mishandling himself in some regards, but he's doing some really cool things that we've never seen anyone else do, and I'm actually giving him huge props for. Like the base snipes with the caustic spray, I think is really awesome. I really like those moves. The lurkers coming in like that was a very expensive, not worth kill for the Nexus, but it potentially could have been because Hush, like maybe the goal of that attack wasn't actually to kill the base, but to draw Hush home, and if that's the case, the mission accomplished, right? Like there's a lot of cool things Jig's doing that we're not seeing others do. Whether it's effective or not, that's really that's up to the who's gonna win this game, and so far that's looking like it's gonna be Hush.
Yeah, I'm gonna put my bet on Hush here. I was gonna say, like, Jig, the counterattacks, the getting around the army are all very good things to do. He even built a Nidus Worm that hasn't been used yet.
Well, it was used.
But,
What are you talking about?
you're right.
We watched it.
Yeah, well, okay, it wasn't used for very long. Hush is gonna take the game. But I was gonna say, like, it has been expensive units as opposed to, like mass lings running by. He did it once with banelings, but it just wasn't effective.
Well, his early game harass was kind of nice too. Yeah, going back to lings and
Yeah.
things. But okay, guys, we got to play a commercial break because that was an exceptionally long game. So sit tight, and we'll see you for game 3. Excuse me, game 2 when we get back. Hey guys, we're back, and I'm just tweeting about this, and I'm gonna bring this up on stream again because it's happened to me and Lickanine and many other pros that have been going on. So I'm really trying to spread the word about this. I'm like 100% sure after doing as much research as I could yesterday, if you use an Android phone and Skype, chances are you were one of these people compromised and hit with this weird Baidu link bug thing. As one of the things I learned after looking into it more was that it didn't just affect Skype contacts. It also affected like your mailing contacts who don't use Skype, but it would use Skype to message them. So for example, I have like 40 people on this list I've never heard of because I haven't emailed them in like 7 years. But because they were on my Microsoft/Android account list, they were added to Skype and messaged through that. So it's just a general PSA. I'm not trying to say like people are right versus wrong about security being compromised. I'm sure there are people out there who click the links that are just dumb and don't know better. But for the most part, people like myself who are extremely careful about these things were still compromised through this recent security breach. I'm really waiting for there to be some sort of announcement. I checked r/Android all day yesterday, but this is my conclusion after speaking to about 20 plus people, others who are streamer friends like myself who know to be very careful with these links. And it really seems to be the one common thing is Android phone users. So it feels really bad, man. But just spread the word so people know, because it's a whole thing that's going around right now, and I'm sure a lot of people have been messaged at this point. Anyways, game number 2 in the semifinals here for the Corsair Cup. Bottom right, he's down 1 game, but had some pretty cool moves. We'll see if he can do something better this time around. It's Jig.
On the bottom left is the red Protoss. He is Hush.
So if this cast ends before 5 p.m., you're going to do the weird cooking stream?
I'm gonna try. I have something to do at 9 p.m., so it's like 4 hours that I gotta go to the grocery store and make the pizza. I think I could do it.
I will tune in for that, but only so I can report your stream.
I actually think that, so like 4 hours doesn't seem like why would that take me 4 hours to like go to the grocery store and make pizza? But I'm actually just trying to think of like the logistics, I guess, of setting up a stream downstairs. Like I'd probably want to bring both webcams that I have. And I have to use my laptop, clearly. And I have this like jig or something to hold the webcam.
Don't you have any tripods or anything?
I think I do in my camera bag thingy. Not a very big one, but maybe on a counter or something. So I think that would take up the most time. But I think I could do it.
I think I can.
Maybe I'll just do the Korean lesson on stream as well.
I was wondering why you had like that time limit. I'm like, you go to bed really early for a Lima League, huh?
Yeah, before it changed to 7 p.m., I did go to bed around like 10 p.m. But yeah.
Yo, so people were making fun of this in chat, and I'm not even gonna get mad, but I want to just really reinforce this. First off, clicking one of those links isn't what forces you to start sending links to other people. I have never in my entire life clicked a link. And this isn't some like, oh, I'm embarrassed about doing it, so I better double down. Like, I've literally just never clicked one of those links. So for those who think clicking the link is the problem, it's not. Secondly, people want to joke about porn sites. I'm sure you can get malicious and much worse things from porn sites. But again, after doing a day of research or freaking out about this and coming to the conclusion that it was my Android phone, like, it's really safe to say anybody could be affected by this, even those who are really safe about the security, like myself. So the emphasis there isn't that I'm trying to defend myself, because like I don't really give a fuck if whatever you think about it. Maybe the point is, though, if you are an Android phone user and you have Skype on it, you should be aware that this could affect you, and that's the point I really want to get out there.
This game, pretty normal. You said, actually I forget exactly what you said, but Jig has to do something a little bit different. And I would say that a little bit different would be end the game earlier, as sad as that is.
It kind of goes back to, it's like karma for the Broodlord Infestor area, right? Like, how do you beat that? You got to kill them before they get to it.
That would be right up karma, wouldn't it? No, I mean, okay, so the other thing that I would like, before we all pile on the Protoss hate train, which maybe it's a Zerg, maybe it's not, versus Zerg, there are a couple of things in the late game that he could have done better. You know, could have taken chances on maybe what could have been more cost-effective units. Again, those spellcasters. Not that that is the way to go, but maybe he tries that next time. Maybe he only does Ling run-bys, not Hydra run-bys. Like, sure. But I think really it has to do with how he did play the early game and mid-game, and not because he didn't kill the Protoss at that point. Lol, ha ha ha. It's actually, I think, just, in terms of playing an accelerated late game type of game, I don't think he did a very good job of it. He had the Ling drop earlier on, which laid his third base, and then he got Hydras, and then very slowly went to Lurkers, and then went to a Hive, which I think if he wants to play it like a very late game oriented Newkirk Precincts map, he could actually even skip the Lurker Den, maybe, like take that chance and get to Broodlords a lot faster. Because if you get to Broodlords where they get to Stargate, then Broodlords are still effective. But the problem was a lot like Hush also realized how the game was going and was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna get to Stargate, like no problem. And he really didn't have a problem getting there.
Yeah.
But maybe that won't even be worth talking about, as Hush did choose a different build to do.
DTs.
Yeah, of course this is just harassment, as was the Adepts last game. But what follows sometimes can be a little bit more committed.
Well, unfortunately, DTs, they do take care of Lings so quickly, and they're going to catch some Queens here, which is nice. My god.
Okay. Saves the Queen, but these DTs are kind of doing more havoc than they really are supposed to. Layer's almost done, so he's going to be able to get an Overseer to take care of the DTs wandering around his bases. But it looks like Hush realized that was the possibility, the eventual thing to happen, and he's just gonna make Archons. You do have a lot of gateways being put down, but also a third base. Probes won't even be started up again for like minute anyway. But especially on Newkirk, you see a lot of Protosses. Well, first of all, not warping Zealot to their Archons, so this adds a bit.
Well, so the Zealots are interesting though, because if this is something that's a little bit more Ling heavy, then I like the Zealots a lot more than Adepts. But he does have Roaches being mixed in, so I don't really know how well the Zealots will fare here.
They are complicating things just by being a literal wall against the Lings and the Queens sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know if you need to pick up right away. I think you could have gotten a couple more shots off, but either way, he's just playing it safe. Hush pulls back for the time being. Third base on the way, and he does have an army building up back at home. But while this goes on, and while the harassment's doing what it can, muscular augments is started. This is that Hydra Den. He's scouted. He should know about this.
But yeah, I was going to talk about the follow-up push, as Hush's gateways are all finished, and he never did start probes. So, like, if he starts about halfway done, the Nexus is halfway done, then that's fine. That's what a lot of Protosses do. But since he never started probes, he's actually looking to really commit to this attack. Blink is done. He didn't start +1. In fact, I don't even think he got a Forge. And it's kind of that follow-up I was talking about, where, like, Archons aren't that big of a deal, but there are 2 base and 2.5, whatever you want to call it, base all-ins that exist for Protoss, and Jig was not prepared for it.
No, this is brutal. The drone's getting pulled and the stalker's blinking all over the place. This is just, I'm going to say, a little too far gone already. As the Lings and Roaches come on the way, it's too late. GG. GG. Hush takes it all and goes on to the finals. And this, Is it? I don't know if this is, but this might be like our first PvP European Cup finals.
Huh.
99% of the time, this is Zerg up here, guys. Whether it's Zerg versus Zerg or Zerg versus blank.
You're right. Well, it'll be on Cactus Valley. And off to Europe.
Yeah, so I guess we gotta swap server back. And yeah, Mana versus Hush should be really interesting. Mana's got a lot of confidence playing against off-server opponents like this, so maybe this will be a really easy-peasy 3-0 for him. Either way, it does upgrade now to a best of 5, and the prize pool increases here quite a bit from the $10 that Jig will walk away with. That being said, guys, we are going to go to commercial break. Before we do, though, quick reminder that we do have all these awesome links down below for Corsair Gear. Most importantly, as we mentioned many times, those are now affiliate links. They're no longer just like, hey, here's the cool website links. So if you buy stuff through there, BaseTradeTV gets a cut of the profits. Even if you, like, say, click on the headphone link and look at the headphones, but you're like, you know what, I really want to buy some RAM instead, and you navigate to the RAM part of the website, same deal. We'll still get a percentage of your purchase as long as you do it through those links first. So please consider supporting Corsair by buying their gear. It's high quality, it's great, and it's awesome. But then furthermore, use the links so that we get some money too. We'll see you guys in a few minutes, though. Thanks for watching.